Howdy y'all, I'm Stephanie Rodriguez and thank you for joining me today as we take a walkthrough together on instructional design and educational technology. Instructional design as a concept has been around since mankind began communicating and collaborating for survival. Only in the past century has it become refined to the point it is today. The most dramatic evolution occurred during World War II as troops had to be rapidly trained for war. In education, it began with various instructional media uses, from museums and slides to motion pictures and radio to ITV and finally to our current use with educational technology. According to Reiser, professionals in the field of instructional design and technology often use systematic instructional design procedures and employ a variety of instructional media to accomplish their goal. When we refer to the Applied Research Laboratory at Penn State University, instructional design is a process, a discipline, a science, and a reality. In education, instructional design comes through in our lesson planning, horizontal and vertical alignment, and our professional learning communities. My educational technology philosophy refers to student autonomy through student-centered, constructivist lessons. Students want to take ownership for their work. When we apply the Assure model, we can integrate educational technology seamlessly as a tool to enhance the lesson. Instructional design to bring forward student-centered learning is supported by such prominent educational theorists as John Dewey and Jean Piaget. Using Assure as well as backward design as our primary instructional design models, we begin with analysis. This front-ending of analysis in reality saves time later. By understanding where we are going with the lesson, we can determine instructional needs, describe the learning environment, and analyze the learning task. A primary step of the instructional design process is to write the learning goal and then the learning objectives for that goal. The learning objectives include a description of the behavior to demonstrate learning, a description of the conditions of demonstration, and a description of the standard. According to Wiggins and McTighe, designers must begin to think about assessment before deciding what and how they will teach. To bring this to the 21st century learner, we need to consider the course structure in an online environment. One consideration of instructional designers as critical theorists of educational technology is the student's computer knowledge level. We cannot assume that any student in general has experience with submitting work online, getting notes online, or listening to AV lectures. These are behavior objectives that instructional designers have to be cognizant of and include in an intuitive course design. According to Garrison, Anderson, and Archer, there are three components of an effective community of learning in an online environment: social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence. There has to be deliberate and intentional meaning in course design and communications. We should also be intentional about ensuring ADA compliance for individuals with various disabilities. If we create an online course, it should be accessible to all learners. Provide closed captioning for audio. Make sure that the visuals are appealing, yes, but also not cluttered, don't interrupt the course design, are consistent throughout, and non-distracting. Images within the course design should have an alt tag for those with a visual impairment. If a student has a cognitive disability, consideration should be made for time limits as well as demonstration of knowledge acquisition. Above all, instructional designers must be flexible. When working with subject matter experts and others in a design team, there's no room for pride. Instructional designers bring in their experience, their understanding of educational theory and design models, and their ongoing research of the field to create a course for others. Ultimately, the client has the final say in if the product is effective and usable. Overall, as an instructional designer and an educational technologist, I'm here for the learner. Nothing that's planned or designed is effective unless adequate time is taken to really look at the learner. It's important to know as much as possible about the learner, as this component is critical to the design and implementation of instruction. After all, the learner is the future. Thank you for joining me in this conversation of instructional design and educational technology.